Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Vanity Ezel back on another Cardify Vanguard Ezel and the Vanity weekly review. So if you guys enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and donate to the Patreon. Let's get started, shall we? This week we got a few more reviews covering the new V Clan collection sets. So we got some really nice things coming in. I don't know what specifically we're getting after the ones I'm about to record, but I do know for sure we are getting Amon in this episode. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get this started, and then we'll get on to the later reveals when we get to them. So first up we have our Dark Dimensional Robo, Reverse Daiyusha. I want to say one thing. I'm a fan of the robot, not a fan of the art. The art makes it look, I don't know, manga-ish? And I kind of hate manga cards, or like, I just hate manga art style a lot. So, Daiyusha being a manga art card now, 50-50 for me, but it's still fine because it's a grade 3 twin drive and force gift, 13k base. Auto hand at the end of the battle that your grade 3 or greater Vanguard Dimensional Robo and its card name attacked a Vanguard. If all units that attacked this turn were Dimensional Robos, counterblast 1, ride it as stand, and until end of turn, this unit gets to lose a drive, and you cannot ride by card effects. So, let's unpack that. You may be thinking that's kind of bad because it requires you specifically restricted to Dimensional Robos. Well, first off, that's what you were doing anyways, or at least I'm pretty sure that's what you're doing anyways. Basically, this works for me. Good that it works with any Dimensional Robo grade 3, but also, yes, he does lose a drive, but you can use him with Ultimate Dimensional Robo, Great Daiyusha. How, you may ask? Well, first up, you can do, I'm just going to specify the triple Daiyusha. Since you cannot ride, you can go Daiyusha, the original one, get his power to 4,500, or 45 grand, and then attack with it. Don't ride that turn. Then use Great Daiyusha, ride it from hand because you hit 45, get a force gift, get plus 10 for your front row, attack with that Daiyusha, and then you attacked again, counterblast 1 for this one, lose a drive, can't ride by card effects. That way you would have ridden consecutively 3 times, or technically not you ridden, but like 3 Vanguard attacks, total of 5 drives. Yep. We all can assume what my deck's going to look like, right? I want to let this be clear. I never use Great Daiyusha, but this is the one time I'm going to use it. And then act Vanguard once per turn. Lock 2 rear guards with Dimensional Robos in their card names. Choose one of your opponent's Vanguards, lose a 10 for the turn. I don't remember the old ones go, but I think it was something along those lines where you lock 2, make the opponent lose 10. Okay, yep, make it a once per turn. Very smart, because DP can abuse the fuck out of that, considering like everything. Like, I just said one thing you can do with it. Trust me, I think that going Daiyusha play is just the dumb idea because it doesn't require Daiyusha at all. You can just use other better things, Kaiser, Dailiner, and then you would abuse the shit out of this with Daiyusha. But all around reverse Daiyusha, amazing grade 3, good skill, don't like the art, 4/3 of in a Dimensional Robo deck. Now on to our reviews for Genesis, our first full reveal of the clan for Genesis in the new clan collection. We have Ordain Owl, grade 1 boost, 10k shield, 8k base, auto when it's rotopawing, call it to rear. So, okay, you don't have to call it if you don't want to, but it's a nice skill, just a free call, so that's nice. And auto rear, at the end of the battle, it boosted a unit with Regalia in its card name, shove it to soul, draw a card. It's really nice. Regalias have now been focusing on divine gauging, and that involves you getting rid of soul to use their skills, so it's a really good thing that he can refresh your soul for divine gauges and get a draw to replace himself. All around, Ordain Owl is a really good card. If you want more info on him, go to the deck profile I recorded before I recorded this. So yeah, either way, I think he's a 4 of in a Regalia deck just because good ride target, get your soul, get your draw, does everything Regalias need. 4 of. Then we have literally my favorite card out of all of these, except for maybe one other in terms of art. Regalia of Prayer Rurigissa, grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base, autos placed on Vanguard, counterblast 1, like a top 5, choose 1 card from among them, call it to rear, and shuffle your deck. If you call it a Regalia, you may choose up to 1 of your rear guards, and put up to 1 soul face down as a divine gauge for that unit. It's really nice. Downsides, it has to be placed on Van. I hate that so much. I really wish it was just Van or rear, and the second part of that effect was restricted to Van, but whatever. So it's nice that it's just a counterblast 1, you get a top 5 search for any unit you can call. And then if you call to Regalia, you get the additional effect of gauging someone. It doesn't have to be the unit you call, it can be anyone else. So that's really nice. Get you a rear guard for basically for free, because counterblast, yes, while it's annoying in Regalias, it's not that big of an issue. And not to mention, it can gauge something if you call a Regalia. So field present. Once more, wish it had a rear guard skill, wish it was a rear guard skill, but whatever. And then auto, when it's placed on rear guard, choose up to 2 cards from your drop zone with Regalia in their card names and put them to soul. There are ways to superior call from deck outside of this card. So, get you 2 soul for your other divine gauges. It can be placed by effects, can be placed by normal things. All around, this thing's an amazing grade 2. I love it. I run it in my Regalia deck at 4 of, and so should you, or at least 3 of, because, you know, go to grade 2 ride target and get you soul for divine gauges. Then we have our new grade 3 in Regalia of Devotion, Frigg. I like its art. I don't know why it reminds me of like olden style Gear Chronicle. Why, I don't know. It just does. Grade 3, 200 force gift, 13k base. Continues Vanguard. All your rear guards with divine gauges cannot leave the rear guard by the opponent's card effects, and they get +5. I like that. It's kind of similar to both Angelica's and Daiyusha's abilities. Once more, watch my deck profile to get the full view of it, but basically one of them is more protective than the other one, and one of them is more powerful than the other. Frigg is the midline, where she basically protects your rear guards from leaving the field in general, so the only way they can get rid of them is either by locking them, cradling them, or just swinging into them, and they get +5 during both players' turns, as long as they have a gauge on them, so that's amazing, making them harder to hit and making them annoyingly hard to touch. And then act Vanguard once per turn, counterblast 1, look at top 5, choose 1 card from one of them, call it to rear guard and shuffle your deck, and if you call to Regalia, choose up to 2 rear guards and gauge both of them. Or gauge up to both of them. So that's really nice. It's the exact same skill as Rurigissa here, and it's just good. You know, I like the feel of Gold Paladin just getting counterblast, look at top 5, call 1. I wish it was called 2. If this was a Gold Paladin, I'm willing to bet that would have been a call 2, but it's still an amazing skill nonetheless. You get a call, and if it's a Regalia, you get 2 gauges, but you do not have to call a Regalia just to get a call. So that's good. And then auto Van at the beginning of your turn, if your opponent's damage zone has 4 or less cards, discard 5 gauges, dealing a damage to the opponent. Okay, here's the pluses to that. Okay, let's go in the back somewhere from this. When Angelica first got released, I think we all compared it to the main thing that everyone compared it to was straight up Gigarex, because already divine gauges and equip gauges are more or less the same thing. Actually, I think they straight up are the same thing. And the thing is that Gigarex had an ability to discard 5 gauges, deal damage to the opponent, and Angelica had the ability to discard 5 gauges to heal a damage. So Frigg literally just takes what people wished someone in Regalia's had and put it on herself. So now Regalia's have a way to do effect damage. Granted, they can't bring them to 6 damage from this, but that's still amazing. I like it. It's not so sure if it's once per turn or not. If it is a once per turn, cool. I mean, because it doesn't have the once per turn icon, but like, what I mean by that is the timing that would go off. I'm not exactly sure that makes it a once per turn. But if it's not, I'm pretty sure it is. But if it's not, and you have 10 gauge, and your opponent's at 3 damage, just saying. All around, Frigg's really good. It's a really nice grade 3. It adds for more consistency in the Regalia decks. Once more, if you want more background on that, watch my Regalia video. So I give her a 4 of in my deck, or at least a 3 of, because she works with the other ones really well. Like, they have different ways to win the game. And our next reveal that we currently have is War Deity, Asura Kaiser. Grade 3, 204, Excel gift, 12k base. I think me and my friend are a little disappointed in this. Here's my thing. I'm not disappointed that we got an Asura Kaiser, because I really have been wanting to build an Asura Kaiser deck lately in V, but the only Asura Kaiser we have isn't really the best. So I'm glad we have a way to upgrade Asura Kaiser. But our thing was, we both really wanted Gold Root Tile. Or I know I wanted Gold Root Tile a lot. So I'm a bit disappointed that this wasn't Gold Root Tile, but we still got 2 more reveals that we don't know of. So, I mean, well, yeah, we have 2 more reveals that we don't know of that are new. So I'm really hoping one of them is Gold Root Tile. Or good support for sure. It better be good support for Asura Kaiser, or it better be Gold Root Tile being one of them. I don't care. I just want one of those 2. Anyways, our boy here, act hand. If your Vanguard has Asura Kaiser in its card name, counterblast 1 right at a stand. This is the most broken effect. This is the most broken part about that card. Or you want to know why? Here's the thing. Ezel's. Bushy said Ezel's were BS, so they decided to get rid of Criff, the premium one, as a starter, because if you don't know, you could get 2 superior rides out of it by using Criff in combination with the new Ezel to use Criff, shove itself to soul, shove Gareth to soul when you're on Bowman, get yourself an Ezel from deck, and then use Ezel skill, Soul Blast the Criff once you get 2 more Bowmans and Gareths out respectively, ride Ezel as stand, you got another gift, and then maybe Wonder Ezel just to say fuck it. You thought that was broken. Guess what? This one can do it too, except on its own. You want to know how? 1, your Vanguard has to have a Asura Kaiser in its card name. Guess what this has in its card name? Asura Kaiser. Doesn't have to be the original. And it's not once per turn. All it costs is a counterblast. And there are cards in this deck that can countercharge, such as Claydon Mechanic. But she better have a good damn excuse for this. They banned my Ezels, they banned this. That's my response to it. It's not as bad, it genuinely isn't, but that's still good that you can do it. And by the way, your opponent doesn't have to be at grade 3 for it. You can do this when they're at grade 2. Beautiful. And then act Vanguard once per turn. If you have a card with a Asura Kaiser's card name in your soul, Soul Blast 1, look at top 3, choose up to 1 card from one of them, put it to the top, and discard the rest. So, pluses to this, he can stack one of your drive checks. Downside, you're technically milling 2. But upsides, once more, stack and drive checks. And in Asura Kaiser, that's always good because their skills typically require you to drive check specific things, and worst case scenario, if you don't see specific things, you're sacking a trigger. But downsides are you're most likely losing 2 cards, and sometimes you might have to debate between 2 triggers and a Normian. And the reason why you debate between those is because Auto Van, once per turn, at the end of the battle, a grade 2 or greater unit was checked during your drive check. Doesn't matter for this one, so if you got rear guard drive checks, it works. Just saying. Stand one of your rear guards, and if your opponent's Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, counterblast 1, stand all your rear guards. He can stand your rear. He can stand the entirety of your rear guard. Yeah, they had to restrict that to grade 3 or greater because, once more, this ability can go off while your opponent's at grade 2 and you can abuse the hell out of that. Now, here's my thing. Oh, yeah, once more, you can abuse this one too because once per turn is once per turn per card, which means you can use the one on, which means you can ride a regular Sword Kaiser, then counterblast 1, get Excel 2, then counterblast 1, ride this, get another Excel 2, Soul Blast 1, look at top 3, do the skills, and then do it again by riding another copy from your hand, Soul Blast another one, and then just keep doing this. The only thing I wish about this card is that it didn't stand all rear guards, it stands all of your units because it's already a once per turn and there's no way Bushy's going to give us a way to disappear right during battle phase, or at least in this deck, but it's still good. It's still good. It can get you board restand and get you drive check stack. There's no reason not to run this. Like, it's perfect. It genuinely is an amazing card, and I really wish we had more freaking Nova reveals so I can build my deck and do a deck profile on it, because I already have the deck. I just want to make sure that I don't want to add anything. But this thing is amazing. Run it in a Asura Kaiser deck. Asura Kaiser is going to become meta. Let's get on that hype train, boys. 4 of. Our next reveal comes from Grand Blue, and unfortunately, it's not even a grade 3. Like, okay, that makes me sound like Morikawa. That's not what I meant by that. I mean, like, you know, main grade 3 or, like, you know, support, because most of these times we're getting grade 3s. I think we haven't even gotten, like, a non-grade 3 for any of these reveals. Or what I mean by that is, like, non-main grade 3 for the main unit. But my thing is this. Bushy, as much as I appreciate you guys going easy on the reveals, like, I really like this, because it means I'm not gonna, like, have to record an hour-long video. My issue with this is I'm trying to make tech profiles before anyone else can with these reveals. And to be fair with you, I need these cards to make reveals. So maybe speed back up the process, or at least finish the remainder of the decks before I can move on. Anyways, King Serpent, our Grand Blue reveal, is a grade 2 intercept 5k shield, AK base. Same stats as the original. Auto is placed on rear by your card's ability. Soul Charge 1, it gets plus 10 for the turn. Okay, that's good. You know, get into drop zone, get a free soul charge plus 10. That's really nice for like stuff like Basskirk and for Night Rose, even though I don't think Night Rose has a soul problem, but if people's competitive builds do have a soul problem, well, there's your there's your fixer. And then Auto, when it's retired from your rear guard by your card's abilities, yeah, that's the harder one, because calling over is not by retiring. So the only way I can think of you getting around this in Grand Blue is just via Night Rose. Unless there's another Grand Blue card that can do rear guards? There probably is, but I don't remember. But yeah, if you call it by card's ability and your damage does no face of cards, countercharge 1. They made it worse. They made it arguably worse. Like, before it was on place from drop, I believe, countercharge 1, soul charge 1. Yeah, the soul charge plus 10 is fair, it's fun, it's good. The other part of that skill, they nerfed him. They nerfed him so hard. Is Grand Blue really that dangerous to countercharge? I don't think it is, but whatever. King, especially when there's not that many cards that can just murder stuff by effects, but whatever. Either way, King Serpent, good grade 2. If that second skill was not restricted to no face of damage, I would say 4 of, but because it is restricted, I'm gonna say 3 of. And now we have our last remaining cards in our dark regular reveals. First up, we have Amon's follower, Atrocious Blue. Grade 1 boost, 10k shield, AK base. I want to say I really like the art on this one. The eye on the chest looks really cool. Autumn is placed on Van, look at top 7. Choose to 1 grade 3 card of the Monon's card name reveal, put it to your hand and shuffle your deck. Okay, really nice. We technically didn't need a grade 1 right target because our grade 1 from before did have a Vanguard skill, but 1, it's nice to get more Amon's followers, and 2, nice that even though he is restricted to Van, he can search for any of your grade 3 Amons. And then he has Act Rest, Rear Guard. Rest this unit, choose Soul Charge 1. Choose an interview with the Monon's card name until end of turn. It gets plus 1k for each card in your soul. That's really good. Like, Amon, or like,
Both of the Amons kind of have a similar ability to that affects the soul, but really nice Atrocious blows giving back the old skill to the Amons. So all around, I think this unit's really good. Gives old skill back to the Amon, gives him power, gets you a soul charge. All requires you to rest him, so you don't have to do a mandatory soul charge to wear your deck out from. All around, amazing grade 1. I like it. I think it deserves a 4 of it in an Amon deck. Then we have Amon's follower, Soul Sucker. Grade 2 to 5k shield, 10k, 9k base. Really like the art on this one. The blue kind of reminds me of ice for some reason, so I think it looks cool. Auto showed upon by a unit with Amon's card name, Soul Charge 3. Okay, downsides to this, it's a mandatory Soul Charge 3, but free Soul Charge 3, so take that as you will. And then auto rear, when it attacks something, counterblast 1, Soul Charge 1, and this unit plus 5k until end of battle. At the end of the battle, if you have a Vanguard with Amon's card name, and you have 6 or more soul cards, put it to soul draw card. So that's really cool. Counterblast 1, yes, it's a mandatory soul charge again, but it's at least a 14k swing on its own, and if your Vanguard's in Amon, which it most likely will be, goes to soul draw a card. All around, Amon's follower Soul Sucker is a nice grade 2, and I also think it belongs at a 4 of an Amon deck, or 3 of at least. And our last reveal for today is our new main grade 3 for Amon, I guess. Demon World Marquis, Amon Reverse. Really like how he's sitting here. I think it looks really cool. Divine floating demon from hell. Grade 3 Twin Drive Protect Gift, 12k base. Act Vanguard once per turn, lock 2 rear guards until end of turn. This unit gets plus 2k for each card of your soul. If this unit's power goes up to 40k or greater, it gets plus 1 crit. So, it shouldn't be too hard to hit it on its own, because, yes, you can always use this one to boost yourself up a bit more, because you can just lock it afterwards. But, to hit that number, you would need 10 would just put it to 22, to 32. So you need 30. No, you need 15 to do that. So, no, 14 to do that. Either way, it's a pretty good skill. Gets the crit really easily, gets the power really easily. Your opponent doesn't have to be a grade 3 for it. Very simple if you have to write this first. And then active Vanguard once per turn, counterblast 1, choose the 2 cards of them on and their card names from your soul. Call in a rear guard circle at the end of the turn, put the code into soul. Okay, I think that's really good. None of his skill requires the original Amon, so that's really nice. And not to mention that he can essentially get you to the 2 rear guards. Your hand is pretty much empty because you had to barely skip by last turn because you did all the guarding. Use his skill. He definitely benefits from a full-on Amon deck. I think he's really good. I like his skill. I like his art. I think he's amazing. 4 of. And that's it for today's reveals. Hope you guys enjoyed. Alright, we got some pretty nice reveals. I hope Pushy decides to step it up and give us more reveals, or at least they keep this quality. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, and I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to stand up your Vanguards.